Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Two Dads Chillin', the podcast for dads by dads. I'm Brennan, and that smiley man right there, who just won the tour championship, is Matt. Stop.
Going on. No tour championship. You won $10 million.
You've been cheesing from ear to ear since yesterday.
Well,
Before we get in that, how was the wife's birthday?
good. No,
Just a normal day?
yeah. And once you're over 21, it's kind of just another day, right?
No, not me. I have a whole birthday month. But well, that's good. Glad you she had a good birthday and whatnot. She's almost catching up to you. At least that's what my daughter always tells me when it's her birthday. She says I'm almost catching you. I was like, got a little ways to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, how was your week?
Good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy. Big accomplishment in my golf game. First time I broke 80.
Oh boy.
And
I'm happy when I break 80 on the front.
No, I think, when you're looking at, percentage of players that, break 80 in their lifetime, it's like 15% of golfers break 80. So I pretty happy. The golf game, especially in the round, kind of just everything came together, and still had a couple bad holes, but, it had a lot of good holes to counteract the couple bad ones.
I don't think any of us realized what you were on pace to shoot because you were quiet the whole day.
I mean, in my head, I knew where I was, because when you're shooting, for the most part, pars and bogeys, it's kind of easy to keep track. It's like, well, I bogeyed that hole, so +1. I mean, even. So, and I kind of knew where I was. Did I know exactly what I was on track to shoot? No, but it really kind of hit me on the back nine because I didn't finish the front nine very well. I mean, I finished double on 8 and 9 to shoot a 5 over on the front nine. Which is good. Still, a 5 over front nine is a pretty good score for me. It's on track for me to shoot somewhere in the low 80s. But definitely, starting 10 off with a birdie, getting a shot back, and then just rattling off a bunch of pars. Kind of hit me, I would say, getting into hole 15, 16. It's like, okay, if I can, finish these last couple holes, couple over, then I could shoot a 79 and break 80 for the first time. And really just, parred out to shoot a 77. So not only did I break it, I broke it by a couple shots.
Yeah, in terms of golf, though, a couple shots, like 3 shots is a lot. Like that's a substantial amount.
Yeah, I mean, and it wasn't like we were, we played the course pretty much back. I mean, we played it at close to.
We played the tips every hole except for one.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, the tee boxes, yeah. There's a couple of the par threes that the black tees weren't the same as the gold we were playing,
Okay.
but still, I mean, we played it at just shy of 6,800 yards, which is still quite a bit of distance for courses around here. So
I hated the course.
That was link style course.
Yeah, I'll never play that course again in my life. I absolutely hated it.
What was it about that you didn't like? Because I personally from a visual standpoint, link style golf has always been very visually appealing to me. There's not a lot of trees to where like, all right, I can't hit there because I don't want to worry. I don't want to have to worry about being under a tree or hitting a tree and ball dropping straight down.
For me, it was just more or less of I would hit a shot and I would think it was a good shot, and it might have been a good shot, but it's like I had to go find my ball and the high shit that I did not like. You know, I
But I can
guess
certainly see that, if you're not necessarily dialed in on hitting your driver or your irons or anything, if you're playing a little like, fade on it, um, it can definitely, I could see that, causing problems where, in, your more traditional Midwest course, there's trees and it's like, you can go find the ball. It may be under a tree and you got to kind of punch it out, but you could find the ball. I mean, I could certainly see that.
right, and I guess too, I kind of use the trees to my advantage as maybe as a backstop, more or less, so it can bounce off a tree, and then like you said, the ball's right there. So I don't know. I didn't, but even like when we played at AJ Jolly, I liked that better than I liked
Well, yeah,
this one. And this one,
I think they're different class of courses, though. I mean, AJ Jolly, like, good course. Don't get me wrong. I certainly have played it quite a bit, and I like it, but it's definitely catered to you can pretty much hit that ball anywhere and go find it. There's not a lot of trouble unless it's in the water. I mean, everything they mow down, so you can hit a ball, 100 yards to the left of the fairway and still find it.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said,
I think links golf is something you definitely have to. It's something you have to learn to play, and I would say I wasn't necessarily my favorite starting, but I learned to play it, and my game has evolved to where I'm confident when I hit a shot that it's going to go kind of how I want it to go. A relatively straight ball hitter. I can work the ball, left to right, right to left, to some extent when I need to. But mainly I just play a straight ball. Mainly I'll play a draw a little bit off the tee if I'm hitting an iron or something, just to kind of maybe squeeze a couple extra yards out of it. But, it's one of those, like, if it doesn't draw and I don't get the extra 5 yards, it's like not that big a deal. But
I mean, the course itself was very visually appealing. I did like that. Like, the greens were really nice. The fairways were nice.
I felt like the course was in good shape. I mean, there was one hole that, and I'm not going to knock the course on it, but it looks like they had a, I don't know, some sort of like water main break or something through the course where they had a little bit of it dug up to some exposed piping.
Right.
But I mean, otherwise, the green was green. It was lush. It was.
Yeah, I just was not a fan of all of the extra stuff that I had to.
30 yards offline and you're in the rough.
Yeah.
And you're in the heather and having to.
And I didn't like the fact that the bunkers weren't bunkery. It was more like.
Definitely a more packed in sand versus maybe the fluffier sand that, probably more accustomed to.
Right, yeah. So I didn't know, like, that's where I got confused. That was like, if I hit this too hard, because normally on your sand shots, you're trying to swing for the fences essentially just to get the ball out there. Whereas, like,
depends on the bunker shot you're trying to play, but yeah,
right. But like the sand here was like just a normal fairway. Like, it was
firm and compact.
Yeah, it was just firm and compact. Like, I was hitting a normal shot out of the fairway, and I didn't. I don't know. Mentally, I'm thinking I'm still in the sand trap, but physically, I'm just in a fairway, just
trying to pick it clean.
Yeah, just trying to hit it clean, and I don't know. It wasn't definitely for me, but like I said, the course was beautiful. Not my style, of course. I'll stick to my American style golf courses. But yeah, now that we're halfway through the season, are we gonna consistently play 77 golf or?
I
I was proud of you though that you went for it on one of the par fives.
Yeah, I mean that's traditionally not something that I do, but this.
Did you know that you had like that gap, like at least a 3-shot gap or a 2-shot gap to break 90? So you're like, if I mess up on this one, I can easily recover it with my iron play. Like, was that kind of your thought process? Like, you knew that you still had a little bit of a gap to hit 70?
Yeah, a little bit, but when I went for that green in two, like the miss was, short left, short right.
Right.
And
you ended up being long, didn't you?
No, I was short left.
Okay.
But when the club I hit, it was my 3-wood, but I knew even my best 3-wood wouldn't go long there. So I knew the miss was going to be, the miss was short, and that was the club that it was going to be.
Right.
So took long out of it, which is why ultimately I decided to go for it. I was probably front of the green, just to the left. So, I mean, I got the ball up and down. So, moved on to the next. But that was just I would say, calculated risk in a sense, as far as the shot I went for it.
I guess the next big milestone is even.
I mean, yes, but I mean, I think for me it would be, now that I've broke 80, like how can I consistently break 80 or shoot right around that 80? And I look at my score a lot and kind of look at it from a statistical side of things, as far as yes, birdies help you, but I also don't feel like more birdies aren't going to get me to shooting 79, 80 consistently. I feel like double bogeys, which I still have, seems like I get a couple bad holes, and that's kind of what does me in. But how can I turn those double bogeys just into bogeys? I think that is where what would be more beneficial to my game than how can I get 2 birdies around versus 1.
Well, I mean, it's kind of crazy to think about, because you were what, 5 shots away from even par.
No, it was 6 and 6.
Was it 71 there?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're 6 shots away from just shooting even par, but to get to that 6 shots is astronomical.
Well, I mean, just breaking 80 is a feat in itself, and kind of like I was telling you and Andy, once you get to the point where you're especially Andy, who's just kind of starting golf, once you break 100, consistently, then you're just how do I break 90? And then once you're getting into that breaking 90 consistently, obviously you're playing a lot more golf, you'll start to learn and appreciate how hard breaking 80 truly is. That's something I've been trying to do for a couple of years now, and kind of been stuck at that, mid 80, with a good round being, 82, and just not being able to kind of get over that hump because the couple bad holes that it's a double or a triple that just kind of compiling errors. And it's yeah, I mean, I start to see that a little bit just by playing and watching you play, is kind of what Andy was saying. But I said, once you're in it, then you'll really understand the difficulty and the accomplishment that breaking 80 is, right, at least in my mind. I did a Google search yesterday, and it's 15% of your golfers break 80 once in their lifetime. with only like 2 to 5% of golfers breaking 80 consistently, which I mean, I think is kind of a astronomical stat to like,
Right.
because we see, PGA pros out there breaking 80 all the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I know it's a different game completely.
right.
No, I mean, I think second half goal for me is how can I limit double bogeys and turn the double bogeys just into bogeys. Yeah, because yesterday it was 12 pars, 2 doubles, 3 bogeys, and a birdie.
I did that all on the front. No, I think for me, it's just playing more consistent golf. I don't know, finding what I'm good at and getting ready in preparations for more of next season. Because I think next year is when I'm going to take the big jump as far as upgrading to a club that fits more my game. I mean, I love the clubs I have now, but it's more finding a club that I can hit on
I
a
think
more
getting professionally fit
professionally
too. I
fit.
mean, we've done some tinkering with your clubs this year,
Right, and I've already seen a huge improvement.
Yeah, I mean, you were playing a regular flex shaft when I look at your swing and I don't have any numbers on it, but it's definitely a swing speed that I feel like required a stiff flex shaft, and you were just getting too much flex in that shaft. And
yeah, I mean, I don't have
everything was going off
slow swing speed, but I also don't have a super fast.
But I think it's something that definitely justifies a stiff flex shaft because you were everything was going right immediately, and it was just I think it was the shaft just flexing too much and everything. Since switching your shafts out, I definitely see a more straighter ball flight.
Yeah, I'm definitely a lot more accurate with my iron game and as well as my approach shot. Right now, the hardest part is just getting off the tee and consistently being able to set myself up to where I have a decent second shot. Maybe not into the green, but that puts me at least 15 to 20 yards away from the green, because a lot of times now I'm just setting myself up where I'm hitting it 200 off the tee and it's way right. It's not even 200 down the fairway, so I have to punch it out, which already puts me on my third shot to the green, which then by the time I get to the green, I'm already on my fourth or fifth shot, and then a 2-putt, and you're looking at a double. So that's where I say I want to set myself up a lot more for next year, where we're getting bit of stuff that actually is tailored to my game and that can actually benefit me more than what I'm getting out of my clubs now. So that's definitely what I'm trying to do. And I
think having a consistent swing too, is something I gotta tell you. When I have that kind of that repetitive swing, I feel like sometimes when you're playing, you're trying to think of too many things, and it's just seems like it's not natural for you right now. Like you're trying to change your swing a little bit, and it's just not natural.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, my goal for the second half is just hitting that consistent 90 to 92 mark, which is easily done for me because, I mean, traditionally I play in the high 90, like 97 to 101, 102. So it's just making a few minor adjustments.
Yeah, I mean, maybe play a little bit more boring golf at times versus hero ball.
Never.
Because
no, but I've definitely changed up my game a lot even in the 4 or 5 rounds that we've played this year, where even yesterday I could have potentially went for a green on one of the shots.
Yeah, you hit the 3-wood. I was proud of you there.
Yeah, where I was only like 200 out, but instead I think I just went with a nice soft 7-iron, or even
Well, even that short par 4 that was, you could have hit a driver and got it not to the green, but you could have definitely got closer.
Right.
You hit a 3-wood. I was proud of you there because the risk reward wasn't necessarily worth it for you because that hole particular, it's got out of bounds, left, long, right. It's kind of at the end of the property.
Right. So yeah, it's definitely something, just playing more smarter golf and playing to score rather than playing to
have that one shot.
be a Rory McIlroy all day. But yeah, so I guess that kind of leads us talking about Rory. We got the Open coming up, and as of this recording, Rory, he was leading the Scottish Open.
Yeah, they're in the final round right now.
Yeah, they're in the finals. Oh, Rory is not leading anymore.
Drop shot.
No, he's tied right now for first through 9. So it's definitely gonna be fun after we get done doing this. We'll go turn it on and watch the final round. But yeah, we got the Open. Probably one of your favorite events, isn't it? Just for the visuals.
I mean, the Masters is definitely my favorite major, but just link style golf is I enjoy it. Not that we get a true conditions that they get over there with where they can hit a 5-iron or a 2-iron and it just runs forever. We don't necessarily get that here, but links golf has always just been visually appealing for me on the golf course. So I enjoy the bump and runs that they do and the greens that have tons of movement on them. So,
well, I'll get into it. Who's your pick?
My pick would probably be Jon Rahm.
Rambam.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's last 2 majors been top 10s. A top 15, I think, in the last 4. And I think the last 2 Opens have been top 10s. So
he's playing good golf on Live right now too. So I mean, you can't take that.
But I mean, it just seems like when the big event comes up, Major Champions, it seems like he's coming with his A game.
I definitely think that him and Bryson are the 2 that did not suffer as much from transitioning to, because like you look at someone like a Dustin Johnson who completely fell off after transitioning to Live. You look at a Cameron Smith, fell off.
Well, I mean, I think Bryson for sure hasn't fallen off because he's now into the YouTube golf space, and I don't know this, but from somebody looking the outside in, he's still playing quite a bit of golf every day,
right?
Whether it's doing recordings or doing shorts for social media, is chipping over his house until he gets a hole in one, like that was a daily thing.
It's all still practice.
Yeah, he's every day he's touching the clubs, so he's staying sharp with his skills. But the commentators, I forget which event it was, he's like, they said he was probably the only golfer that went to Live and got more popular on the PGA Tour by going, because he's now
he's everywhere.
He's into the YouTube golf space, and just his interaction with other content creators, popularity has just gone up. can appreciate it. I don't know if I 100% agree with some of his thoughts on like his clubs and everything like that, but
it works for him.
It works for him, and I mean, in the game of golf, what works for you doesn't necessarily have to work for everybody else.
I'm gonna go with Roy. I feel like I go with him every major, but
I mean,
I feel like though, like you and I were talking beforehand, like what more does he have to win? What more does he want to win? There's nothing else for him to want, well, I shouldn't say there's nothing for him to want. There's nothing else for him to win to be considered a great of all time.
Yeah, I mean, he's done something, Grand Slam.
One of 5 people, right? Or 4 people? Something like that.
A handful of people. But yeah, I mean, he's definitely, career Grand Slam. At this point in his career, he's not necessarily in the running to be the all-time major winner. So, there's not much else for him to do, and especially with the Open being in Northern Ireland,
at home.
I definitely think that this was one that he is going to show up for. A show for the home crowd, and so I definitely think don't hate that pick. I mean, he's a good pick.
There's definitely going to be a crowd bias towards him and Shane.
Well, sure,
100%. That's who the people are going to want to see. Those are the two that people are going to be following nonstop because those are the hometown boys, and it just happens to be they're best friends.
Yeah. No, I definitely think that's not a bad pick. Who's your dark horse?
Captain America, baby. I think.
Yeah.
I think that this will go very far in determining if he plays or not in the Ryder Cup. And what I mean by that, and let me get behind that, is I know he didn't have the greatest showing at Detroit, but the week before that he won, I think, was it Connecticut? His home course.
Yeah, up in the
there's
Northeast.
So much talk about, is Keegan going to play? Should Keegan play? Should Keegan do this? Should Keegan do that? That I think he can silence those, or should Keegan not play? Should Keegan, but whatever. I think that he can go very far because I think he does want to play. I mean, the Ryder Cup is an extremely important event for an American or European golfer. I think I don't want to say a resume builder because they're not sending out their job application, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like it's something to stand on, take great pride. And I think he wants to play, but he doesn't want that chatter all week if he messes up.
Doesn't want to be like a Tiger pick just because Tiger's playing.
Right, exactly.
We got to take Tiger.
Exactly. I think he wants to prove to people that he should be. He is one. What is it? The 12 people, right? 11 people.
12 or 14, something
like that. But he wants to be one of those top 12 players.
I think it's 12.
One of those top 12 players that should be, because 6 get in, right? 6 get in. And there's 6 captain picks. He wants to be one of the 12 that are picked for America. And I think this week, if he goes out there and shows the top 5 or even top 10, maybe that'll silence a little bit of the critics.
Yeah, I mean, I say I'm maybe a little indifferent on you on this. I would think he'd have to go out there and win.
But who are 12 Americans that are better than him?
Well, I'm not saying that, if he got in on points, that's one thing. But, I think when you select, when you're selected to be the captain, like the captain's duties are not just a weekend thing. I mean, it starts years in advance.
Well, correct.
And there's a lot of duties and responsibilities that you have associated with that. Just the week of the event.
Well, sure.
So when you're doing all of that, how much time is being focused on your game
Well, I think that's too why he picked his vice captains that he did.
No, but I mean, vice captains, it's like they're not in the necessarily in the doing the interviews.
Yeah. You're right.
So I just think that when you're selected as captain, like there's a lot of responsibility that goes with that, and I don't think that necessarily you're going to give the golf game something's going to be lacking. Whether it's you're not doing all your captain's duties, and the rest of the team is suffering because you're not checking on players. I mean, you see them when they're playing in the round, they're driving around in those golf carts, checking it all the different your team's playing on different holes. If you're playing, you're not doing that. You're relying on your captain, your vice captains. I just feel like when you're kind of like a captain, you kind of have to be like, I'm not playing. But not saying that he couldn't be a player's captain, but I think for him to really silence it for me, he'd have to go out there and win the Open. Because he's at this point, he's not getting in on points.
Well, yeah, I mean,
just because I think there's a lot of responsibilities, and I would rather have 12 people focused on golf than 11 and a half.
But is there 6 other people that are better than Keegan Bradley right now? Obviously, you got the top 6, which qualify automatically.
I think
there's 6 other Americans that are playing better golf right now than him. I have to say no.
I would say that there are probably 6 Americans that it's any given Sunday in a sense, kind of mindset. But I would take 6 other people and have him as the coach.
Daniel Berger over him?
Oh,
but he's one of the ones that are being talked about.
No, but I mean, I think there's a lot of young talent out there too, and people that are playing well. But again, they're going to go into that weekend and they're focused solely on the golf and not worrying about post game or post round press conference or the next day's pairings and everything like that. Where their mind is not solely just on I need to hit this golf shot for my team.
Who's your dark horse?
I would say my dark horse, Justin Rose, would be somebody. I don't know if you can really classify him as a dark horse. He's played some decent golf here as of late. I think he's maybe a middle of the pack kind of guy right now, if you're looking at like odds. But it's a couple rounds of golf I've seen, seems like he's hitting the ball good.
I'm pretty sure he's a lock for Europe.
Yeah,
I think he's a lock for Europe.
Yeah, I mean, so that's what I mean. I don't know if I think if you looked at betting odds, yes, you would fall into like the dark horse category, but is he a dark horse? I don't know. That's who I would go with for maybe a.
I think the European players have a better playing at the Open just because they're so used to the style of golf than the Americans do.
Yeah, but a lot of them play on the PGA Tour most of the time too, so it's.
Well, just mean as far as growing up.
Well, they grew up on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, definitely, like I said, when we, just us playing links golf, it's something that it's not what you're traditionally used to playing from a visual standpoint. Definitely feel like has to be something that you kind of learn to play.
But we got baseball, the midway point. What are your Red Legs going to do? Are they going to be buyers or sellers in the second half?
No, I don't see them selling the farm, but I also don't necessarily see them buying to make a push. I think they're building. I think they're still in that building process.
As a fan, would you rather see them sell and to add more building power, or would you rather see them buy right now, make that push right
Well, think it depends on what we're buying and for how long. No, I don't want to buy players for the rest of the year and then they're free agents at the end of the year. And I don't want rentals in a sense.
now? Right.
So, if we could buy and maybe get somebody that's got, season or two left on the contract, like that's a different story because you're not just buying for this year, you're buying for the future as well. But I think it really depends on what we're giving up to. I don't want to give away the future for the next year and a half.
Would you be shocked or upset if they got rid of Hunter Green? I only say that because he is very injury prone.
Yeah, I say when he's good, he's good, but you got to be on the field too. I mean, he was doing great last year, and then got hurt, and never came back. Same, and so I mean, like I said, I wouldn't. I'm indifferent on him. If he's here, he's here. If he's not, he's not. But again, just depends on what you get out of him.
I think that's the biggest name that could potentially right now. Like he's the hot topic item, just because, like you said, like.
Well, I mean, a lot of people are looking for when you're making that push, you need pitching. If you can get a good starting pitcher, you go from having we got one or two. Aces, and now potentially having 2 or 3 aces on a team. Like,
yeah, I mean, you
that
could
changes the outlook on your season.
If you are making that late season push, you could just put him in the bullpen until he gets up to the starting form and just have him pitch like 2 or 3 relief innings.
Yeah, it could be a middle reliever
because statistically speaking, now pitchers, like in this day and age, are only going 6 innings.
Yeah, I mean, but you got to have a team that's going to pay what they're paying him for a middle reliever. That's quite a lot of money for.
I agree, but I mean,
if a team's got the bankroll to do that, I mean,
like, and if you got a team that is making that push, you might as well. Is that $20 million worth of championship essentially?
Sure. I mean, but that's where I think. I think he wants to be a starting pitcher. Starting pitcher money. I definitely don't see him as a closer.
No, but I mean, like as he gets back up to full speed, though, you could just give him that.
You could, but I just is he somebody that's gonna want to potentially work every day?
No, probably not.
Definitely probably wants to be that starting pitcher, work every 5 days.
Wish I could do that. Work every 5 days and get paid.
Well, I mean, they're doing things in between, rest, recovery, bullpen sessions. But yeah, I mean,
$30 million.
No, the lights come on. Big lights come on. Once every 5 days.
Yeah. So with it also being midway, we got the All-Star game.
Yeah.
You excited about the All-Star game in general?
Not really. No.
I think baseball's All-Star game, though, is the best out of all of them. The NBA All-Star game is a joke. NFL Pro Bowl is a joke. The MLB All-Star game is the only game where I think they actually try. Oh, the NHL All-Star game.
That was...
But they got rid of the All-Star game, didn't they? And they
did that for...
yeah, the 4v4, which was awesome.
The country, the Four Nations.
Yeah, Four Nations. Which was,
I think that was phenomenal. I think that, and I really hope that that's something that continues.
I forgot that was the replacement of the All-Star game. But traditionally speaking, they had a regular All-Star game, and it was like whatever. And I thought baseball was the best All-Star game out of all 4 major sports. Because I mean, it
was more than just the baseball. It was it's the celebrity softball, the home run derby. It wasn't just a one-day event. It was a multi-day kind of celebration of the game.
Did you go to the game when it was here?
No.
Oh, did you go to anything?
No, I mean I went downtown.
Oh, did you?
And the banks and
How
stuff.
was that? Because I was
It was crowded.
I
It
was
was crowded.
in LA or San Diego for it.
It was crowded, but the atmosphere was electric. But that's different than watching it on TV. When it's in another city. I mean, when it's hometown, it's a little different. I mean,
Right.
and certainly, as a baseball fan, getting all the big name players and you're seeing everybody at once, like that's pretty exciting. But where as if we wanted to see 5 superstars on 5 different teams. Now we got to go to 5 different games when that team's in town, and it could be on a Tuesday night.
Right.
Where you get to go see all the big name players at one game.
What are your thoughts? So, because I was scrolling through on this BS home run derby we got going. Are you even going to tune in?
No, I won't tune into the home run derby. I'm really disappointed in home run derby. It's.
I remember growing up
it's
and
the players, opting out of doing the home run derby. I mean, not having Pete Alonso, 2-time home run derby champion. You don't have De La Cruz, Judge, Ohtani.
Isn't there
these are the long ball hitters of the.
Isn't there like a study though that like it screws up their swing for the rest of the year?
Yeah, because I mean it's different because they're the cage is closer to the from the mound to the home plate.
Right.
So a 60-mile-an-hour just lob is more like a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. But I would counter that to these are professional hitters.
That's what I was trying to get at is like how much can like 30 minutes really screw you up for the rest of the season.
And
I don't know. Especially like somebody like Ohtani, getting paid the money that he's getting paid.
Yeah, I mean, I just remember, growing up, it was Griffey, Sosa, McGuire, Bonds, the long ball hitters of the time were in the home run derby. Like,
give it back to me. Give me the roids back.
But I think that was great home run derbies because
fun.
the big name players, the long ball hitters were in it.
I remember the year that it was in Detroit, and when it was Bobby.
I mean, the same can be said about the dunk contest in the NBA.
No, totally agree with you on that one.
Because now you've got basically G League players.
You got that white dude.
2-way contracts that are. It's like, who's this guy? How many minutes has he played the league now?
Yeah, that white dude that's won the last 2 or 3 years.
I forget his name, but I know what he looks like.
Yeah,
but it's like he's a 2-way player that off on the bench.
I don't even know if he's played any in the NBA.
But yeah, I mean it's.
Oh, isn't it? Oh, it's all just on the tip of my tongue.
I know what he looks like, but I couldn't tell you his name. But I mean that's what kind of that's how I'm feeling about the home run derby is how I feel about the dunk contest. Like, with the arguably the biggest name guy that's doing the home run derby is Acuna, and was out most of last season with injury, and
he missed all of last
just came
year,
back and played 40, 50 games so far this year. Like, hasn't even played a full season. Like, that's
that's your
quote,
draw,
quote unquote, the headliner of home run derbies. How he's played a quarter of the season so far.
I guess one thing though to look forward for in baseball, and it's something I like how they do it every like a different style every year. Like the last 2 years they did the
Field of Dreams game.
The Field of Dreams games, and this year they're doing the Bristol game. That'd be aesthetically to watch on TV. I don't know about going there. I think it would be probably a pain in the ass just because there's like stands, the more stands. So
yeah, I don't know how it's going to be from if you were there watching it. I mean, it's certainly a interesting concept. I think they've uh, two teams that play, regional wise, to draw fans to it. With the Reds and the Braves, will kind of being centrally located there,
right
between them. So I definitely think it's going to draw people to the game, and it being the first one. I mean, it'll draw kind of the baseball fans, even if not just kind of the gimmick of it. But I don't know how the viewing pleasure of sitting, say, in center field bleachers is really going to be when you got bleachers in front of you, a racetrack, and then the field. Like, are you going to have to be sitting halfway up those bleachers with binoculars to be able to see,
probably
the player?
I mean, more than likely, honestly, probably. Well, they got those TV screens too now.
Yeah, but I mean, again,
But
at that point, just stay home and watch it.
That's my
just say
fault
you're
on
there. I mean, yeah. Do I think it'd be cool? Am I going? No. But I think it's an interesting concept. I think it might be different if they can somehow work it to where you can kind of get more seating closer to the field. Then it might be more entertaining from a fan's perspective that actually wants to watch the game too, but also want to be able to kind of keep the visual aesthetics of it being in a track.
Keeping up with the racing aspect of things, we had a big news in the racing world this week.
Yeah, kind of shocked the sport a little bit.
Kind of, I texted you immediately, or no, you sent it to me, and I was like, you're lying. Just because.
Well, I mean,
he's been there so long.
Yeah, 20 years. I mean, Christian Horner with Red Bull Racing.
Which was, I thought I would get the insight on that, like.
Well, I mean, the team, yes, in recent years, they've had success with Max and the driving championship, and team wins, but that's been basically a one driver team, as I was telling you, for a number of years.
I'm thinking like F1 is not what did you do for me in the past? That's what are you doing for me recently?
I mean, every point is potentially worth millions of dollars. And if you've got only one driver scoring points consistently, like, you're definitely leaving a ton of money on the table. I mean, you see in these races, the small teams, the back of the pack teams, like, they're fighting hard for 10th place because that's 1 point.
Well, I mean, just look at what that race did for Sauber with them getting a third place finish. Like,
oh yeah,
18 points, I think, or something like that. It was a ton of points for.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're potentially millions of dollars for every point that finishing sixth in the constructor championship versus fifth could be a ton of money for a mid pack team. And if you're at Red Bull, like, you're a top team. Like, there's 4 top teams, and Red Bull is arguably the fourth of those teams right now.
Yeah, it's just crazy because like you said, he's won 3 of the 4 constructors, right? Yeah. Or 2 or 3.
But even not even before that. Before that, he was there when Sebastian Vettel won all his championships, or a lot of his championships. So I mean, Red Bull has been very successful in the F1. I mean, kind of was Red Bull, then Mercedes went on their run, and Red Bull went back on a run.
I know
and
Mercedes
now it's kind of the
or McLaren. Sorry,
is on their run, but at least when other parts of when the team was down, like they had two drivers that were in the points. You've got just this year alone, you've got Yuki, who has he scored a
I
point?
think he scored 1 point.
Liam Lawson has scored 0 points from the two races that he was with the big team. The junior team is scoring more than the big name team over the
I
past
just think
couple
that
races.
they're failing to.
Well, it's driver development.
Yeah,
You've built a car that one guy can drive, but nobody else can drive, at least consistently. And is it because the car is built specifically for Max, or do we just not have top tier driver in the second seat?
I think it's a good mixture of both. Like the car is built just for Max, but a top level driver would be able to adjust them, and they don't have that. And that's clear as day that they don't have that.
And what I mean by setup is like the base setup. Like,
right.
Some drivers like a little bit more oversteer. Some drivers like more understeer. Like, but if we can get a good neutral setup and then, tweak one for understeer for this guy and oversteer because this guy likes a little bit of oversteer, but having a good base. And I just don't feel like they've got a good base car setup that can be tuned for different driving styles.
I agree.
And the market for drivers, they just have been behind the 8 ball. I think they were pretty set on Lawson.
Yeah, because they could have went out and got Carlos, and that would have been huge.
Yeah. And I'm not completely done with Lawson. I think there's talent there, but I definitely think that it's got to be talent. You can't jump into a top tier team car and have that instant success. You can, and people have, but I just feel like you're better if you have the junior team. I think they would have been better served just putting Yuki in the number 2 seat and putting Lawson in the junior team, and then maybe switched halfway through if Yuki didn't perform. Because now you've kind of, I don't want to say you've hurt Lawson's confidence by getting him 2 races in the big team, and now it's like, oh shit, you're not good enough. You're gonna go to the junior team.
Well, just think about what it's done to Yuki's confidence too. Like he's with the big team. You've never been high on Yuki to start with.
No, I never have, because he's been in the junior team for so long, and it's not like he's not up there fighting for podiums.
Right.
Like,
he's happy with just being in the middle of the pack type racer.
Yeah, and I just don't see, just not seeing the development to where it would warrant him to be in a top tier car.
He shouldn't be in a Red Bull seat.
Yeah, it's well, what I look at is like, okay, if you're in a middle of the pack team, like you're the best driver in the middle pack team, like you should be constantly leading the middle pack team. And even races, some races you're gonna get the setup right, and you're gonna be fighting with the top tier teams. I just don't see any of that with Yuki.
No, I think he's pretty content on where he's at because he knows that one race of the year he's gonna go crazy in endorsements, crazy in sale and like merchandise sales.
Oh yeah,
like he's always gonna do crazy merchandise numbers just because he's the only Japanese racer and whatnot. But.
Yeah, he's definitely a big sponsorship draw.
Oh, yeah.
And as a business, is that why Red Bull is keeping him on? And it might be.
Well, who are they going to turn to now?
Well, right. But even with him being in the junior team for so long, Japanese culture, always been much like other cultures too. You know, they root for their driver.
Oh yeah, I mean absolutely, and I think that's the main aspect and draw as to why he went to Red Bull when he did, because it was the week before the Japanese Grand Prix, and they knew how much they were gonna sell merchandise wise.
Yeah, I mean, you got everybody went from their racing Red Bull gear to
the actual Red Bull gear.
I mean, it was definitely a shock, but you know, it only goes to show that, you know, if you're not performing in your job, you know, everybody's replaceable.
Right, and you know, like, I think that kind of gets in our next topic that is off topic, but it kind of goes not hand in hand, but it's like, you know, you got a crazy. How do I want to transition this? Like, you have a crazy party scene, and you're not. I don't know. I guess so. I was trying to make something into nothing, but
you try to go into that Carnival cruise that you were talking to me about.
Yeah, the poop cruise.
Their policy change or whatever, where it's, you know, their loyalty program and everything that's changing to, you know, more of a almost like a pay to play versus like
and the only reason why we're talking about it right now is, you know, maybe it's getting that we just booked a cruise for next year, and you know, these changes are coming into effect next year, so you know, it's just.
Yeah, I think some of it's just, you know, Carnival.
I think their sales are dropping, especially with, you know, this documentary that came out. Like, who knows what it did to them? I don't know if it hurt them or not. I mean, I doubt it. People, because it made such national news. But the one thing that I don't know if people did know is that poop cruise, quote unquote, is still active.
Yeah, that ship. I
don't think people knew that.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. They spent
millions upon millions of dollars.
Yeah, cleaning it and getting it, basically gutting it and everything like that. So it's been reconditioned for sure. But no, I mean, I think they're just looking to kind of change their image a little bit from being the party cruise, and I think they're just trying to attract maybe different demographic. More families. Just because I think, like, when you look at, you know, a Carnival cruise versus other cruise lines, I think Carnival is typically
the party ship.
The party ship. It's average age is younger than other lines. I personally sail on Royal. I feel like it has a great mixture of, you know, activities for adults, but also a lot of activities for kids. Very much kind of like a whole family, family friendly itinerary.
Right.
Because I mean, Carnival is definitely known for their embarkation parties. I mean, when the ship leaves the dock for the first time, I mean, at top deck, there's loud music, there's drinks going, there's dancing. It's a big party up on the top deck. And
are you more open to try a Carnival cruise now?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've been so...
Just try it. I'm not saying like become loyal members, but just try and see what's out there. What maybe they offer you that Royal doesn't.
Potentially. But I've built a status with Royal. On their
getting you to try and change, like, try something new is.
Well, I mean,
because you're all about the points and everything.
Well, I wouldn't. It's not that I wouldn't necessarily try it, but it's just like, you know, you've been loyal to one, and you're finally starting to get into maybe a status where, like, there's actually like real perks, versus like, and now you're like, I don't want to necessarily switch to Carnival and like fall in love with it and have to start all over.
Right. No, I mean, that's understandable.
Especially when, Royal does kind of give me everything I'm looking for. There's things for the kids to do. There's things for me to do. The entertainment, the shows on Royal, like
I think they're top notch.
I've always been very, very, very highly. I think very highly of those. Especially the ships now with like the aquatic theater. They're quite amazing.
It definitely has me excited to see like how they do these aquatic theater shows, which definitely is pulling my interest even more too.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely seen them. There's ice rinks where there's ice skating shows on the ships, and then there's your traditional, Broadway style kind of production of whether it be Mamma Mia or something like that. I mean, a lot of great entertainment and true artist on the ship. And I don't know if other cruise lines, even not just from my experience, but like even like the reviews that I've read and listened to on YouTube, like it always seems like Royal is very much like
the family cruise.
Well, that and like from it, the entertainment and is always like people's favorite from.
I don't think you get more family oriented other than if it's a Disney cruise. Because that is definitely obviously 100%.
Well, yeah, but even that, it's like I would even.
I would never do it.
Well, the price of a Disney cruise, I think, is just astronomical. You're paying for the name, but I would argue that maybe that's not even family. I think it's more geared toward the kids. It's not so much. No, it's different if you're if you're a Disney dad, like
grow up, Peter Pan.
Then there might be more entertainment for you.
Right.
But as someone who's maybe not a Disney dad, like I don't know if you would truly have as much fun on that as a Royal cruise.
Well, I think it's about that time. We've been yapping our jaws for over an hour. Cover some fun things to look forward to. Any big plans for the week ahead?
I mean, back to work. Kind of back from the holidays and everything like that. So, nothing big planned in the next couple of weeks. So kind of just get back to the normal grind of things.
Yep, just time to rest and relaxation, and get ready for the work week ahead.
Time to schedule that next golf.
I'm never golfing again, especially with you.
I'll let you pick your course.
All right, but so we appreciate the love and support, Alex. We appreciate all the hard work that you've been doing for us. By the way, we see that you completed the Legos.
Yeah.
So, well, that's episode 6. Almost that time of the year where it's football season. Can't wait. But
till next time,
boys and girls, we'll see.